Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to get into a new episode of All Up In It with me, your host, DaVida Chanel. Hey, y'all, baby, what is going outside? Because, honey, it feels as if there is something in the air making the humans go just absolutely wild. And yes, I am a human, so don't think for a second I'm not affected. Everybody I know and everybody I don't know, people I see on TV, people I see walking down the street, everyone seems to be going through some sort of thing or another. And I'm so very grateful that you took some time to check in with my podcast to see what's happening in my world. This show deals with all the things like trending films, books, TV, music, but also sharing current events with my own personal stories of the twists and turns of living in this modern world. Because when I tell you right now, the real world is definitely more fantastical than fiction. You heard me? So I'll do my best to keep it real and be authentic as we get into all the things. All right? All right. So let me get started. On the show, I like to gloss over the top 5 things that I got into this week. So these are some of the headliners and showstoppers that made me text a friend or two or call somebody and be like, hey girl, you saw this. So those top 5 things are: number one, y'all government is a mess, child. The government is still shut down and the administrator in chief is still doing his best to, become a king. Seriously though, he's doing his best to shut down our basic rights. Good old America is American as per usual, but now it's so much more scary as ICE raids are becoming more and more inhumane. As we pray for Chicago, let's just keep in mind that any city, anytime could be next. And on that note, all of these politicians on both sides of the aisle, they really, really are getting on my nerves. If I see one more of them try to sell a book, like, I ain't buying. Seriously, grow up and do your job. Number 2, in less life-threatening events, let's talk about some TV news. Y'all know I'm a Bravo fanatic, and 2 of my favorite franchises are back at it. The ladies in Salt Lake, y'all, they acting up. Bronwyn came to play. Lisa Barlow gonna Lisa Barlow. But y'all, Heather is really, I'm warming up to Miss Heather now. But I love Salt Lake. I think Salt Lake is the best. That is when, Atlanta is on hiatus. Don't tell nobody I think Salt Lake is the best, period. But the Real Housewives of Potomac, they are very high on my list too. And y'all, they are back. Season 10, the premiere did not disappoint. Actually, it did disappoint. While the show is good, like good, I am very disappointed in the pylons on my favorite, Miss Stacey Rush. The investment of these beautiful and successful women into at best, Stacey's love life is super boring. Her ex-husband, the TJ, all of them, like none of them are super exciting. So this pylon to her and if she's lying or not is just so shocking to me. And I'm so disappointed in Ashley Darby. I shouldn't be because we've seen Ashley Darby all 10 seasons. But girl, we saw your relationship from top to bottom with that very strange man you chose to marry, which we assume that you did it for this $20 million payout. And girl, I ain't mad at that. But the point is, Ashley needs to chill. And in real life, today is October 10th, and it started with hot news about Dr. Wendy and Happy Eddie on TMZ. So Potomac trying to come for Salt Lake with the most intriguing and felonious cast members ever. So I'm very tuned in. Speaking of TV, number 3, sadly, Chicago Fire said goodbye to my favorite character, Darren Ritter, who's portrayed by my client, who is awesome, Daniel Kyrie. So sadness all around for me, as this is the second time I saw one of my clients leave that show. Heartbreaking, but, Daniel's an amazing talent, so I know he's going to bounce back. And, now I can get to Chicago Fire when I get to it because I'm not, held down to seeing Ritter and what he going to do every Wednesday night. Number 4. So y'all know, or you may not know, but I am so locked in on my diet and nutrition, and I vowed to stick to a plan until December 19th with an exclusion for Thanksgiving, of course. But y'all, this week, Taco Bell tried me. Baby. October 7th was the Taco Tuesday fast food lovers around the world could rejoice for. Apparently it was like Taco Bell's anniversary and they had all these deals like buy one get one free, 99 cents, $2, like all the things. But your girl, me, I stayed strong. I just stayed in the house. I just didn't go outside after 4 p.m. because I didn't want to even look that way and get caught up in the temptation. But for anybody that did go and participate, I hope you enjoyed it. For me. And lastly, finally, on the topic of food, one thing that I'm all up into is Trader Joe's, because right now, Trader Joe's, baby, they have released their fall lineup of all the great pumpkin spice flavored treats. And at my house, we are indulging. We have had the pumpkin oat cereal, the pumpkin samoas or samosas, the pumpkin ravioli. Oh, and my favorite of the bunch is the pumpkin brioche bread. And y'all, I use this to make some French toast. Baby, Trader Joe's got this pumpkin situation on lock. So when I say what a time we are having, those are the top 5 things I've been into. Whew, it's a lot. It's a lot. And with that, let me go ahead and sip on my tea for a second, catch my breath, quench my thirst, and then I'm going to get right back up all into it. And any potential sponsors out there that may be listening, this would be the perfect spot for you to drop an egg. Come on, y'all. Help your girl keep this thing going.
In the beginning, hip-hop was ruled by the East Coast. Then the West Coast rose to prominence thanks to gangster rap. Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. Hip-hop changed the world. Gangster rap changed the narrative.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
And then changed the world again.
'Cause I'll come and take your life away.
The history of gangster rap features unheard stories, unseen photos and documents, all with exclusive interviews from the founders and players who shaped gangster rap.
I think a real gangster rapper has to scare you a little bit.
The history of gangster rap written by veteran rap journalist Soren Baker.
Yo, what up? This is DJ Quick. Be sure to pick up my homeboy Soren Baker's book, The History of Gangster Rap, if you really want to know what we do.
All right, we are back. I'm feeling relieved and refreshed, and I want to get into the topic of this week's show. So we are currently in the fourth quarter of 2025, and generally the fourth quarter is a great time to, analyze your annual objectives and goals and, set the stage for what you'd like to see in your next year or the next phase of your life. So for me, this fourth quarter is super important because next year your girl turning 50. So I gotta do all the things right now so that when I step not only into this next year of my life, I'm stepping into this new phase of my life, I want to go in ready. And when I tell you 2025 been kicking my ass, so I need a comeback, I need a win. And my favorite show of the summer, illustrated exactly what I'm talking about, and I want to get all up into it. That show is Big Brother. And I'm being a little bit facetious when I say my favorite show of the summer because it does start in the summer, but the show doesn't end until the fall. And either way, season 27, it just wrapped. And it had a definitive fourth quarter comeback story that I want to get all up into it with you. So the premise of Big Brother is simple. On its face, they take 17 house guests, they put them in a house, the last person standing wins. But it's a lot more detailed than that. The house guests are isolated from anyone outside the house. That includes news media. They can't read books. They can only do things that are allowed by production. They participate in a variety of games every week. They have these competitions, some of them very mental, some of them very based on memory of things that happen in the game. And some of them are very physical, comps, hanging off of stuff or who can hold on the longest while being spun around. Just super exciting games to me. I don't know why these games look so exciting because my athleticism is not that high, but I want to do it. I want to do all the things. I love Big Brother. I think it's so fun from the outside looking in. And week after week, the contestants and participants, they choose to be in this house. They do whatever it takes to stay in the house. This can include lying or manipulating. They make alliances and friendships to reach their goals. Some people fall in love. People have gotten married. I swear, I love this show because it feels like you're looking at like a section of real life. Obviously, in real life, we're not hanging on for dear life to some machine trying to see who could last the longest. But I do think people are making alliances at work. I definitely have met some people lying to get what they want. And I know some manipulators. And I think, we all have experienced that. So to me, Big Brother is such a subset of real life. But anyway, getting back into it, this season was particularly interesting because for the first time in my history of watching the show, I didn't start off like the first episode with somebody I really, really liked or rocked with. I did not have a clear favorite or a person I just absolutely wanted to win. If I'm being honest, I was not an initial fan of the cast. And they even brought back a like old school fan favorite. It just so happens that because she has won so much and is so popular, I just thought that was a bit unfair. So yeah, I was not a fan of the cast. Now, I admit I could check myself. It could be a tinge of haterism. I know it's hard to believe your girl might hate sometimes, but because I want to be on that show, if there was a reality show I could be on, it would be Big Brother or Traders. And I think I would do well on these type of competition shows. So I digress. I just didn't have anybody I was rocking with from day one. It took me until like the 8th eviction, which would make it like day 60 out of 83 until I really cared about somebody. And that person for me, his name was Keanu. He was this big, huge guy, like this lovable giant. He seemed to me as like everybody's little brother. How like I didn't have a little brother, but in pop culture, I feel like little brothers are depicted as these annoying people that no matter what they say, their big sisters like shut them down. And he had like that type of relationship with pretty much all the women in the house, the ones that didn't just straight up hate him. But the girls that did like him or tried to get along with him, they'd always end up fighting. And to me as a viewer, it seemed to be because he wasn't doing things the way they wanted him to, in the way older sisters treat their younger brothers. But Keanu was a comp beast. He won pretty much every competition he was in until the last one when they finally got him out. And the whole time I was rooting for Keanu to go ahead and make his run toward the end. They had this girl named Ashley. And Ashley, I wanted her to stay as long as possible at that point because she was the only black woman left. The show did start off, well, I guess this other girl, her name is Morgan. She was biracial, but I don't think she presented as a black woman. But Ashley was like clearly a black woman by the way she looked. So anyway, I liked her. I felt like Ashley got a really unfair portrayal in the first episode. And I'll just make this quick. So they had this guy, Vinny, who I absolutely did not like. And I did not like him from the first episode because of an incident that happened with Ashley. Now, when contestants win what's called the head of household, they get the privilege of having their own bedroom and their own luxurious bathroom. So in this first episode, Vinny wins HOH. He tells Ashley she could come to his room and take a shower. So she did. And after she took this shower, they had a pretty long talk. But however, to the people outside of the room, all the rest of the house guests, they just thought that Ashley was this like shady girl who went up and took advantage of Vince's shower. And he didn't do anything to like quell the rumors. He let people just think like, oh, I don't know why she stayed so long. I told her I didn't want to tell her to leave, but I felt bad and played this whole game like he was the victim. And I knew from then he was going to be trouble. And so the whole house created this thing called Showergate. They went after Ashley. They targeted her for eviction in the first week. And in that first week, she overcame it. She won the veto, which allowed her to take herself off. And then for the rest of the competition, she was not put on the block again until way late in the game. And even when she was a clear like deflection from the actual target. At some point, it gets down to like 6 people. Keanu was that sixth person to get evicted. And so then it was the top 5. And at that point, I was all the way team Ashley because I didn't like the other people. Or I didn't want them to win. Let me say that. It's not that I didn't like them, although I didn't like Vince. I wasn't rooting for any of those people. let's be very clear though, at this point when Ashley's in the top 5, she was like a super long shot to win. The guy Vinny I mentioned, he and his closest ally Morgan, they were the sure things. They had pretty much won all the competitions and run the game. And with Keanu out, it was clear that, one of them would be the winner, and the two of them had planned from a very long time ago that they would be in the final 2 seats. And it looked like that's how things were going to be, and that's just how it was going to end up. But alas, here comes the fourth quarter comeback. So it gets down to the final 3. The final 3 are Vinny, Morgan, and Ashley. So the 2 people that think they're going to win, and this girl, Ashley, who seems like a long, long, long shot. At this point in the game, what happens on Big Brother is there are 3 competitions. Whoever wins the first battle gets to wait and face the winner of the second game. So Morgan wins the first game, and then Ashley and Vince have to face up. To make this super, super short, Ashley wins the competition against Vinny because Vinny misread the directions. And to be fair, Ashley originally, she misread the directions too, but eventually she figured it out and she won. Well, when she won, Vince has this like major breakdown. He's like going off on himself. In fact, it made me wonder if like CBS had done their due diligence and checked on his mental status before going into the game. He had been pretty self-deprecating throughout the game, but at this point it got bad. It made me almost like worried for him. Like, is this guy gonna hurt himself? But Ashley won, and when she won, she got super locked in. But Morgan, on the other hand, she and Vince, or especially Morgan, she thought she had it, on lock. So she and Vince decided to stay up late. They were in the hot tub. They're like living their best life, planning like how the 2 of them are going to make it to the final 2 and what's going to happen. While Ashley, you don't even see her on camera. She's alone somewhere. She's resting. She's taking her nap. It's crazy. So it gets down to now Ashley, the way Big Brother works, whoever wins that last competition, and it was Ashley because she won 2 out of 3, she gets to pick who she wants to sit next to in the final 2. She decides to sit next to Vinny because on his way to the top, he had pretty much betrayed everyone in this jury that decides who will be the winner. And, she thought she had a better shot, and she was absolutely right because unbeknownst to the house guests, except for her closest allies, Ashley, who had portrayed herself to be this like kind of dumb girl this whole like summer, was actually like this super sophisticated, intelligent attorney. And her prototype is Elle Woods, and y'all know we love Legally Blonde, so that was great. So after, revealing her alter ego of this assumed unintelligent Elle Woods, our real life Ashley, this real life lawyer, she absolutely like killed the final speech, which is the last thing that the people that get to vote on the winner get to hear. And y'all, her speech was so good. One of her quotes is definitely going down in Big Brother history was, "I turned my enemies to allies while my opponent turned allies to enemies." Woo. Child, let me say it again. I turned my enemies to allies while my opponent turned my allies to enemies. Now that's a whole word right there, because we all know some people that be making you, their friend, an enemy when all they had to do was just befriend you. But I digress. Let's get back to it. All of that to say, the fourth quarter comeback is real. And Ashley is a great example because Ashley played the long game. She didn't let the day-to-day huffing and puffing of the house get her down. She just kept pushing. She made moves every day, unbeknownst to most of the people right there in the house with her. And she only shared her victories when it was most strategic for her game. She let them call her stupid. She let them like talk down to her. She played right along. She was even saying stupid stuff. Y'all, the girl said she didn't know who Clark Kent was. I still want to know if she really didn't. But anyway, all along, Ashley was going through this game, knowing who she was and who she was about. And at the end, when 2 people, everyone just knew were going to win this game, got really comfortable, Ashley, she didn't. She just like focused on her goal. She kept studying. She got her rest. She got her beauty sleep because, baby, your girl was looking real good on the finale. She was ready for her moment. And when that moment came, what did Ashley do? Ashley made her fourth quarter comeback and she was shining, y'all. She was ready. She was so ready. So as I look at Big Brother as a bit of a microscopic view of life, I do think Big Brother is life, y'all. I really, really do. But as I look at this year, 2025, and how things have unfolded on a personal level for me, y'all, I should absolutely, based on this, throw in the towel, just give up, let it go, because there is no way I could win. My money low. The industry I work in is extremely unstable. To say things are slow would be just the biggest understatement ever. It's not like I could just go get some other job. Like, I own this business. And also, it's not like the job market is popping, especially for Black women. Hello, somebody give the stat, because how many Black women have lost their job this year? But if, like Ashley, I could let all that go and just focus on my goal, focus on this win, and just show up what I'm supposed to do, whew, y'all, I feel like I'm over here preaching. Come on, let me calm down. Let me just say this. All I'm going to do is do like Ashley. Let the people think what they think. Oh, she doing another podcast. Ain't nobody gonna listen. If this girl put up one more TikTok with only 100 views, if she put up another YouTube video and don't nobody watch, what is this girl doing? What this girl is doing is focusing. She is waiting to see what unfolds. I am locked in. I'm in the winter arc. I'm doing all the things that the internet says you should be doing at this end of the year. Why? Because it's the fourth quarter and I'm looking for my comeback. Y'all, I'm focused on doing all the things. I got myself a routine, baby. I'm in the gym. I'm getting up early. I'm drinking my water. I'm eating these macros. I'm hitting them. I'm minding my business and the business of the ladies on Bravo, but I digress. I am going to get what's for me. And when I say this, I say it with no hesitation. Y'all, I know that I know. I'm going to win. I'm going to have and experience this fourth quarter comeback. And y'all are too. If you could just lock in. I ain't trying to tell y'all what to do. Again, I'm going to just say, I know that I know I'm going to win. Amen? Amen. Because you got to have an amen if you're over here preaching, right? Seriously, though. This week, I got all up into my fourth quarter comeback strategy. And just like Big Brother winner season 27, Ashley, I'm going to lean into my strength and pull off the things that I want by playing the game every second until the end. And I can only play it as the person I am. So let's fucking go. Whew. Now I'm tired. I've been talking. Y'all got your girl up in here sweating, my heart beating all fast. But as always, I just thank you so much for listening to another episode of All Up in It with me, your girl, DaVida Chanel. Please follow this podcast, subscribe wherever you listen, and look for @DaVida Chanel on Instagram, TikTok. And finally, tell a friend about this podcast. Share the episode. I so appreciate you, and I hope that you find a little something to get all up into as well. Later, y'all.